Latin class, or maybe it was a level 4, and we were talking about the collapse of the Senate and how Caesar had changed these ideas and how their unwillingness to change led to the downfall. And it struck me as, I'm the Senate. I'm going to have to change or else my empire is crumbling. And again, a little light humor. They've been more flexible. Maybe the Republicans will be around. This is actually a screenshot from my online textbook. The same textbook I've been using now has electronic copies. And I screenshot this one of his favorite stories. It says, don't worry, it's not like your carriage is stuck in a ditch. I'm sure you can handle this. One thing to be aware of, there are a lot of things that are available to you for free. And just because it's available and I can get it on my iPad doesn't mean that I can't use it on my PC at home if it's not Mac. I know there's some misconceptions. One thing that really helps me is iCloud. Okay? You can save your documents, your Keynote, your calendar, some email, things like that to the iCloud, and you can access it from your laptop if it's a Mac. You can access it from your laptop if it's not a Mac. You can pull these items up so that I'm not dragging the same thing around all the time from the cord, which is kind of a pain. I can go home, open up my laptop, go to iCloud, and I've saved it there and access it. Now, some of the formats, like if it's something that's very specific to an Apple product, sometimes will change. But if it's something in Pages or a Word document, I can load it in there and then send it forward the other way as well. So it's a good way to keep up with documentation, and you're not carrying it around going, which computer did I do that on? I don't remember. You load it to the cloud, you know it's there. There's another alternative also, Dropbox. I'm sure that a lot of you have used Dropbox. And I use it occasionally for this purpose. Most of the stuff I have on Dropbox are personal pictures, so I can share them with my daughters in college and things like that. A few things I wanted to show you are some basic apps. There are no ones that I can't live without, most of them. Edmodo is my very favorite thing ever. We use WinWeb for grading and things like that. My textbook. A great free little thing I'm going to show you later called DocScan. Of course, Keynote. And just a few other things that I find that I use occasionally that the kids enjoy. The first thing I want to talk about, how many of you use Edmodo? Okay, Edmodo is my very favorite thing in the world. It's free, it's a website. They have an app, but from what my very strong technology students tell me, it's not a true app. But when they start talking very technical, it kind of goes away. But it's free, it's accessible from home. I can get it from my PC, I can get it from my iPad, I can get it on my phone. If I choose to, I turn that off because I find that if I do that, then I'm at home with what the kids doing, and I need to not know what the kids are doing sometimes. Edmodo is kind of like an educational Facebook in a way. It has the ability to post back and forth, you know, a conversation. What it also has is the ability to post an assignment. So I can post an assignment, I can attach a PDF file. The kids can go and open that PDF file, and using an app like Goodreader, they can go and write on the PDF. They can then submit that back and turn it back in. When they turn work in, though, if it's something that's actually turned in, that's something that only I can see that the student turns in, and if I respond, then they can see. So that's a one-way communication. It's a private, it's like a Facebook message. It's just a one-on-one communication instead of me saying in front of the whole class, you did a terrible job on that essay. That's a one-way communication with that particular student. Another feature of iPads, if you have the cameras enabled, is if they're doing something, and I have some students who don't like to write on the PDF, some of them like to write it on paper, which makes me smile. But then they have the ability to take a picture of that and then submit the picture in as their assignment. And that works too. Whatever works for you. Also, if I'm up at the board, because we conjugate, I have all the color markers out, I'm doing endings, different colors and bases and all this stuff, which is hard to, you know, photocopy because the colors have come through. But they can take a picture with their iPad, and they've got those notes automatically. It's there, and the color is there. Then we can also post those notes to Edmodo. I can post PowerPoint, I can post Keynotes, any kind of PDF, picture files. There's also a function on there to post polls. I use this also for my clubs. I have 3 Honor Societies, club, and yearbook also now this year. Good times. And we often will vote on things on their fun. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's some posts from, it's kind of hard to see, from my Latin club. And one of the other students, my president, has actually made an e-card about a reminder about Latin club and posted it there. And then on the other one, I think it's from yearbook, I posted a poll about what they want on their t-shirts, so that they can vote. And when they vote, it's anonymous, and you can only vote once. I'm not counting pieces of paper, which is very nice if you're doing a large-scale thing like superlatives or student council, or let's all vote on the senior t-shirts for the school. Okay, I don't want to go through 500 pieces of paper and have somebody say, you didn't count them right. I didn't count them at all. The computer counted it, which is a great thing for me. And Moto uses all of my other apps. I use those with it. I use it every day. I post to it. Parents get a code. The students have to have a join code, just like you have one to join this page. When the student joins, it generates a parent code. And once it generates a parent code, the parent code is the same for that student, no matter how many classes or clubs they're in. So once they get that initial code and the parents log in, it will show every group that that student is signed in as, which is a real help.
You set that up, or is that all
When you create your group and you give them the code, when they log the code in, then they set up their username and password. When they do that, the system automatically generates parent code. You don't have to do anything. You can look at them and tell them what it is, if they would like it, but it's not something that you have to create, which takes a little bit of time off me, because then I can simply say, please check with your student about Edmodo, and you will get the parent code. I recently set up a group for just the senior class, so that I could distribute information about when are your casual pictures due. Let's add things that when is your cap and gown ordered, when is graduation, what's coming up, some senior project things coming up. All these different groups that are helpful. The next thing I want to talk about is a free app. There is a paid version. I always try the free one first to see if I like it, and see can I manage with the free one without having to pay. Even if it's $1.99, a couple of those adds up to lunch. And with 2 kids in college, and my husband was in the military, $1.99 not makes a difference. DocScan is a free app, and last year we were going through some changes with our email system and our server, and I lost the ability to scan items from the copier and email to me. And I was like, what am I going to do? I need this document, and I don't have time to get it there, and how am I going to get it to them? And the student goes, oh, well, just download this. And I said, oh, it's an app. I downloaded it to my phone, called DocScan. I took the document that I wanted. I took a picture of it with my phone in the app. I cropped it. It's saved as a PDF. I emailed it from my phone to my email account and uploaded it to Edmodo. Problem solved. And then I went and told my administrator what I had done, and he looked at me like, you're making that up. No, it didn't. He said, very suspicious, but it works. When you do that, you can name like items, and you can have multiple pages. That's why it looks like a little folder, or a little page. It will save it as, if you want to do multiple, say, is your job done, or do you have another page? You'll say, I have another page, and you can add another one. And I added one here. It's a little blurry. Sometimes I find that my resolution on my phone is probably a little bit better than my iPad, because I have this bulky case, because I like to use the keyboard sometimes, because my little fingers hurt. But you can go back and look at what you have, and add in, and it's a great way to do that if you're in a pinch, or if you're buying a house and you go, I need a copy of this. Oh, I need a copier. I could just DocScan it and then I can email it to myself. It's great use for other things as well, not just in the classroom, but if you're in a bind somewhere, it's a great way to get something. Another app that we sometimes use is Google Earth. I got an idea from a colleague of mine. She used to do these field trips with Google Earth, and she would go around the school maybe looking for things, which was cool. Not as much fun for my class as much. Nothing's really changed for a while. In Latin, see, they're still there, still sad. But I did have a student who was, she was brilliant. She had a terrific sense of humor, and she drew this picture of this Roman in a toga, and she did the stripes on him and everything, and instead of it saying, "Where's Waldo?" it said, "Ubius Waldonius." So now we can search for him on Google Earth. And it's kind of a quick screenshot of some things there, and you can enable all kinds of things on there. And it's a way to get your student involved, like at the beginning of the unit, or when something first gets going. And sometimes they find it a nice way to just take a break. Another good app, and this is very compatible with Edmodo as well, is Goodreader. What Goodreader does is allow you to edit a PDF, and then you can save your changes, and you can load it straight to Edmodo. You used to have to go through a process to do that, but now that Edmodo has updated, you can go straight from Goodreader to Edmodo with their flattened changes, and they can submit that. This is what one looks like. However, if you scan the document in crooked, then it twists a little bit there. It's probably been cropped. But this is like a study guide that I had made, and I had gone in and made the key for them, because sometimes my handwriting is pretty legible, but it's sometimes wider than those little boxes. And I really like to use colors. So that was when I did it a couple years ago for a group. But it's a great way to keep up. And then you can actually set up folders within there if you'd like, and categorize. You can have Latin 1 or Latin 2 or geometry or Spanish 4. However you're categorizing things, you can set it up that way. It makes it easy to go back and look at it. Now, a couple of things that I'm going to talk about. How many of you are high school level? Okay, so just a couple of you. Things that I like to do, because high schoolers, Jared and Brandon, y'all are super cool, and you're in the know of what's happening. Sometimes I like to include things with my technology that the kids are using. My youngest were just graduated, so I'm very in tune with Facebook and that kind of thing, because then I can stalk my children and know where they are and what they're doing, because they don't come home anymore. So I find that if I use some things like that, sometimes it gets their interest. But I do want you to know that there are a lot of sites out there that are focusing specifically on students. Especially even as far as saying there's all these sites just for Latin students, which is not a very popular subject, but there's a lot of social media and these pictures and these jokes, and some of them are really great. Some of them are very racy, and language is very inappropriate, so if you're going to use that, you need to preview that before you're there. Just wanted to give you that heads up, because I came across some things, even specific to my curriculum, that was oh, wow, somebody put that up. This was one of my favorites, though. All parties were cocoa parties, because back in the day, they really weren't. They didn't have anything else. Some popular media sites that kids go to a lot. BuzzFeed does some e-cards. There's also Snarky Card and several other ones. Bitstrips. Bitstrips is something that's kind of new to Facebook. You can cartoon yourself, make yourself a little avatar. They actually have a Bitstrips app for education. And there's a lot of stuff that's already on there specific to subjects that you could probably use. It is one of those things, though, that requires a subscription, and you pay per month. Or I think you can pay a price per year for so many students. However, there's a 30-day free trial. And if there's a free trial, I'm not over that. There's some things called School Fail Blog. There's meme generators. The one that I use a lot is called Gematic. And there's Keep Calm posters. Those are pretty popular right now. I have a couple of some things that amused me Latin-wise from BuzzFeed. There was this list of 17 things Latin nerds know to be true. I did have to edit a lot of them out, because a lot of them had some language there. But it's something sometimes if you get that, sometimes you can bring the kid's attention back, which is difficult. Almost as difficult as getting mine most of the time. This is just another one. We're talking about why you study that language. Because you understand something, because it's not awesome. An example of a meme. Yoda, I always tell my kids that Latin, the sentences are constructed like Yoda speaks, the verb's always at the end. So we have to go with Yoda. This is from a Bill Block cartoon that a former student sent me. My former students send me things almost every day. And then as far as the e-cards, let me look down. Almost a bill in a day. Take the time to plan your electronic classes. Okay, have a plan. Don't just start grabbing stuff, because then you're going to be very confused and go, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Always begin on a solid foundation. For 500 students, it's $750 a year. And it's $1 per student. I probably wouldn't do that because I not included that in the budget. But it might be something I will do probably after Christmas, the 30-day free trial, because the kids might enjoy that, because there is actually a little toga that you can wear. Again, we don't get a lot. Another thing that I've done before is use social media in projects. Now, when I say that, we did not use the live version of Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or something like that. We do it on paper. I've done a Facebook project before. We've done Twitter. Last spring, my AP kids did a Snapchat project as if they were talking as Aeneas and Dido. And they were Snapchatting, of course. What they did is simply take the pictures of themselves and put them in a keynote, and they could caption them and set it up that way. It wasn't a true Snapchat app, but it was something that they enjoyed doing, and it was amusing. And of course, I'm probably wrong, but that's how kids are. And it gave them a way to tell their friends. They're like, "Oh, you take Latin? Yeah, we're doing Snapchat." Because I need all this as I can get. I need to keep as many kids in my class as I can get. Latin is, and thank you, Harry Potter, for saving Latin, but we're trying. Yeah, Brandon's one of mine. Jared used to be one of mine. He dropped out. Just publicly shame you. Oh, wait, let me just show you. Okay. Also, make sure when you're doing these things, again, I always do a paper or a mock version, just because I don't want to violate my school's social media policy. Okay, these sites are blocked from the filter. Not to say they could get on at home and do it, but I don't want that because I'm not allowed to be Facebook friends with my students or follow them on Twitter. But it's something they can do as these characters, or as mythology characters, or as, historical figures, or musicians. Back and forth is another way that they can express themselves while they're still getting the content. Something that you're going to want to look at are apps specific to your curriculum. When I first started looking, there was about 2 apps for Latin. The key is to keep looking and look often, because this industry is exploding right now. I wish I had stock in some of these things. And they're changing almost daily. If you'll go once a week, once every couple of weeks, you'll find new material that wasn't there 2 weeks prior. And some of them are really good, and some of them are not so useful as you thought they might be. Again, if there's a free one or a trial, do the trial, do the free one. Take the time to do that and see, do I like it? Or you're spending $2.99 here and $4.99 there, and because after a while it starts to add up. I did screenshot a couple of the apps that I use, just some things that my kids enjoy. Just to show you that if there's stuff out there for Latin, there are stuff out there for you. Okay, because I have the lowest number of students in my classes. Some of the most loyal students. There you go. And you have to share. Okay. And then I have some other apps that I have downloaded. I paid for a lot of those, and I don't use these. These are something that's just not as helpful. Or if it's a vocab, that's great, but it's not the same vocab that my book uses. Because there are other, there's Prentice Hall, there's all these other publishers may not be my specific vocab, so that's not very helpful for me. Keep calm and get your tech on. Okay. What I really hope to impart to everybody here is that this is something that you can do a little at a time. If I can do it, everybody can do this. I was literally at the point of thinking, I don't have to teach anymore. I can go back and do accounting. I'll just go back to accounting. I don't have to do this. My youngest one's graduating. I can just go. But I love my kids and I love what I do. And I had to make the decision, am I going to keep doing this? Or am I going to let this beat me? And I am all about the challenge. Challenge accepted. Usually before I think I've accepted the challenge, like when I joined the military, didn't really think that through. And said I'm going to do this, and 2 weeks later I was on a plane to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and well, at that point I couldn't change my mind. It was a little late for that. Luckily that worked out well for me. But I want you to be comfortable with what you're using. And don't be afraid to go and ask a coworker or a peer or email me or someone else that you're close to that says, hey, what do you like about this? Or how do I get this to work for me? Okay? Take the time to do that. And if you know a trick, share that with somebody else. Okay? You have a responsibility to share with your coworkers. Nobody likes that person that's always borrowing your drawer of markers and scissors and glue sticks every week and never buys their own. Every week. Every week. Can I borrow your glue sticks again? Well, they're not really much of them left. Or can I use your markers again? For 2 years. Okay? Don't be that person. Share. But when you get something, say thank you, be appreciative, be grateful. And when you have knowledge, share it with others so that they can gain it and then they can share it with somebody else. That's one of my big pet peeves. We had an IT lady that was super helpful for me. And taught me that I can do things, and then when I learned something, to share with others. And she got on this kick of saying, hey, share what you know. And she actually made a photo page for us to share our successes, share what you know. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great tool to go back and thumb through. At first, it can be like, oh my God, I can't do all of this. Well, I may not be able to do it today, but maybe next week I can try one thing. And maybe the week after that, I can try something else. I don't want anybody to be intimidated by the technology in a way that makes them want to leave what they've chosen to do and what they love to do. I don't think that the purpose of this technology is for that. It's to help us. It's going to take some setup time. I mean, certainly. How many of you have that drawer or that stack of papers that you have yet to file? I still have that, yeah, and it's bad. And so I find myself going, oh, where's chapter 37? I can't find it, and so I just grab the original and I make another copy and I make a key because I can't find the key I had. And then as I finally get to filing this, I'm finding 4, 5 copies of the same thing that I've done 5 different times because I'm in a hurry. I teach in 4 different classrooms. I'm never at the same desk twice. And then I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting paper. I'm wasting resources. And if I would scan it in and have it, make that key electronic, you can take a PDF and you can edit it on your Mac or on Goodreader or on your iPad, and you can save it to a file, and then it's there. You don't have to look through the stack. You can just close the door and pretend like it's not there. It's there. Every time. Did it take me a little bit of time to type that in? Yes. Because I had to get the color right and be lined up right. But now I know where it is. And now I can have a key file. Or I can have, these are the exercises that I want to use file. I said, well, what was that worksheet I had yesterday? Whose classroom was I in when I had it? I had no idea. I have a classroom about the size of these 3 chairs that literally has these 12 desks crammed into it. Well, my classes, several of them are larger than 12, so I'm in a lot of different locations. For several years, I didn't even have my own classroom. I was just kind of bumming on wherever. So I always had like this big bag of markers, and I put the shelf in everybody's classroom with stapler and stuff. Luckily, I have one location for those type of items, but still, when you're traveling, and I know several of us do that, especially anybody teach on different tracks, so you're sharing classrooms with different people. Okay, I know that that's a problem in Wake County when you're sharing classrooms and there's files and stuff and trying to move things around. I need something that I can access in a hurry, because frequently, there's a lot going on, and sometimes the file will actually just delete itself from here. And I'm going, I forgot what I was doing. Or, oh, I needed that, I forgot to make a copy. Now, I've got these 17 kids looking at me going, I know if I walk out the room, they're going to start a fire. Is there something specific that I can show you that you would be interested in seeing? I have some Edmodo files to show you. For those of you that use Edmodo, do you use it to turn in assignments into grade and things like that? It used to be, it was kind of a pain on the app, on the iPad, but now the new one is a lot easier to grade. I actually like to grade on it now more than the laptop. I used to carry the laptop in because it took a while. But you can actually put in the grades, and then you can just go back and look down a list and either transfer them over to your digital grade book, or I still keep a hard copy of everything because I don't know why. I like to write, I guess. I'm really panic stricken about losing information. I've never lost anything electronically, but I just have a phobia. Doc scan. I'm gonna see if I can get back to that page and show you again what that icon looks like. I have posted this on the Edmodo page, but I posted it in Keynote, so if you don't have Keynote, it's going to be difficult for you to see. So I'm going to go back and post it as a PDF as well, so you can look at these pictures. This one here is the Doc Scan. This is Doc Scan HD. It's free. I have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad. And once you purchase it from one to the other, if you have an iPhone or iPad, you can easily open it up on the other one if you choose to. Goodreader is something that my students use often with Edmodo. Dropbox is free. You know, if you send out a link to Dropbox to your students and say, hey, you need to get a Dropbox account, if they use the link that you send them in the email to open it, then it adds free storage to your account. Which if you have a lot of files or a lot of photos or stuff like that, it will take up a lot of that space, so that's a way to get storage without actually having to pay for it. Evernote is a very popular app. I don't use it as much as a lot of others do at my school. It's just not something I'm as comfortable with as they are, and that's fine. What works for you may not work for the person sitting beside you or the person sitting beside them, and that's okay. It's just like we tell our kids, you know, practice makes perfect. The more you work at something, the better you'll be. Unfortunately, we are all now part of the now, I want instant gratification, I need it right now type mindset, so sometimes we forget that we're telling them the same things. We have to remember it ourselves. Is there anything else that somebody have a question about? You can use the QR scanners. There are actually apps where you can create your own codes. So you could have a series of documents, or you could link to a video, and the students, if they had the app loaded on their iPad, could scan the code, and it would automatically take them there. We're actually trying to do that in our yearbook and link it to a video of the song that our yearbook thing is based on. So that when they scan the code, it will link them to the YouTube video of the song. So a way of keeping it kind of condensed and go, hey, I wonder what that is, and then like, I hope that in several years when they go back and do that again, I don't know if that'll be obsolete probably, but it will take them back there and they'll remember that. Or they'll go, hey, remember we used those? And in our minds, we're like, this is like science fiction. I don't understand how this works. Sorry, I don't understand how practice works still. But, another thing that my students have used that I'm working on an iBook right now. I'm not where I want to be with it, but I'm working that way. Prezi is another opportunity for like a presentation from a PowerPoint. It's very visually stimulating. I've had vertigo, and so for me, when I watch a Prezi, it messes me up. I can't. I have to sit down. Yeah, I can't. It's very distracting for me because words come in sideways and upside down and flipping around. I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. But the kids like that, and that's great. I tell them when they're doing their senior project presentation, they may not want to use it for that because the person watching it needs to be listening to what you're saying and not all the pretty colors. EduCreations is another app. I have a friend who's a math teacher, and she uses this a lot because you can draw on the whiteboard, and then you can also record as you're speaking, so you can be drawing out the problem and recording your voice at the same time. She does super neat handwriting. For me, if it's not in a straight line, then I can't, and I tend to do this, so that it's really crazy. But I do like the feature of being able to record this. So if I know I'm going to be absent, and I know I'm going to go over these notes, or I want to show you how to conjugate this verb, I can literally write it out. I can change the color of what I'm writing on that whiteboard, talk you through it, and you can watch that video because it can also be uploaded to Edmodo. Any way that I can help the students organize things or see it and not lose the notes is helpful. On Edmodo, you have the opportunity to do folders. And what I have suggested, hoping they'll do that, is there's not a way yet to make a folder within a folder. So if I had a Unit 2 folder, I couldn't put chapters 1 through 7 in there. I have to have a separate folder for each chapter. But at least if I have those folders there, the students can go back and go, hey, what were the notes from chapter 7? I can't find my notebook, unfortunately. but I can go look at the folder and I can see them there. You also have the opportunity to take those away. You can you won't delete them, but you can change it so that they're not viewed forever, so that you can keep them in your library, share them until you're done with Unit 2, or maybe even through Unit 3, and then take those out of the view so that it's not clogging up so many folders that the kids are seeing. When everybody is sitting and stuff like this all the time, sometimes it's overwhelming for them. If you're worried about, there's a lot of information that's coming out at you, so if there's a way to condense it, it's helpful. So you're just looking at current information.
Yeah, it really does just seem like.
It really does. There's also a calendar feature on Edmodo where, like, we're required to post all of our meetings. If we have club meetings, they're all on there. If we have performances, they're on there. Which is helpful for a parent to be able to go, I don't know what's happening. Well, if they have that parent code, they can log in. They can go to that calendar and see what is happening, what clubs are meeting, when does Latin Honor Society meet, probably supposed to be yesterday. These type of things. If they're learning to organize themselves, other than just having the planner like we used to have, if they're going to use some sort of electronic planner, they need to be able to access it and learn to use it. Hopefully, through teaching them to use it, I'm learning myself. I used to have to keep, the little planners with me all the time. And now I have it all in my calendar. And I'm hoping that everything doesn't leak, that it'll be okay. Other questions I can answer for anybody, or comments? When you first started, we were just getting Edmodo. It's the first year I had Edmodo.
Right.
We had the textbook. What do you see the differences between the hard copy of the textbook versus the electronic copy?
Well, in the electronic copy, the first thing I really see is that the words are a little bit, they're updated, so, and they're easy to see, you can zoom in and stuff, but you can also, they also have interactive web links that just send you to your Safari or whatever web browser you're using, and then they have an interactive segment for you to do, and that really does help with your learning because, especially in Latin, it's not just something you can pick up, oh, this is what this means, I learned it, yeah. It's, for me at least, it's that you have to have like some sort of hands-on activity. And then with Edmodo, I find that, especially with the notes, it's more efficient than just having a hard copy and then just looking at a board and then she's explaining, but you can actually, it makes it easier to see what's going on and follow through just because, and you always have it, you can't lose it. I mean, if you lose the iPad, that's a little bit hard to do for the most part, but you always have that somewhere, you just have to find your way back.
I think it's also helpful because when I put the notes up, what I'll do is when I put my lesson plans up every day, I set it up. You can set it on Edmodo. You can have things posted in advance. You can set up the time. And it used to just be every hour. You only post on the hour. Now it's every half hour, so it'll get better. I would like to be able to say a specific time. At 8:37, I want this to post, but now it's either 8 or 8:30, better than 8 or 9. So I can set it up in advance, especially if I'm going to be out. I can set up everything. It's going to post automatically. The assignments come up. The daily posts come up. When I post the new thing, like for a Monday or whenever we start a new chapter, I automatically link the notes to that PDF copy of the notes. That way, they can look at that. They can see the notes. So if they're absent, they have the same material that everybody else did. And they can't say, I didn't know what we were doing. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And it's right there. It's right here. And it helps keep people, especially for long-term illnesses or other items, and parents want to know what's happening. Well, the parents can go and see it. It's available for them. With the parent code, they're not able to type responses back and forth to the kids. Like the kids can talk to each other. That's the limitation of the parent thing. Most kids don't want their parents typing to their friends on their own. Imagine that.
Oh,
Imagine your mom typing on another. Imagine how much it would help. But it's a way to keep up with that. That way I can have the notes displayed on either the smart board or the Apple TV, whatever classroom I'm in. Then I can be at the whiteboard explaining how we're doing it. They have it visually in front of them on a large scale, and then they're watching me do it at the same time. And then they can take a picture of that if they would like. Or one person will take a picture and post it to the page, which often happens. Usually like somebody to do that. So that's a good way to share that. Don't be afraid to try something. When I first started, I just started with one class, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. So I'm going to try it. I try it with this class and see how it works out. And now I have it in all my classes, all of my clubs, other groups, like the senior groups, that type of thing. There are so many, let me just show you real quick how I can send notifications. One of the classes I had this year, I'm actually in a parent role as far as their grades are, so it looks like I have all of these things, but I'm just checking on what gives. If I go and look at okay, this was from Wednesday, this was due today. I can go and look at what students submitted. This is going to show me, like per class, a list of assignments that I've assigned, and I can click on one of them. And it's going to say, there are 3 that are not turned in. 15 have turned in, and 15 are awaiting a grade. And if I click on one, I'll do this first because she's actually here today. It says it hasn't been turned in via Moto, which means she hasn't like typed something in, but you see there's an attachment. So when I click on the attachment, it shows the page, it shows what she's done, and I can go and check it. I can go and look, did she finish it? And of course she did, because she's a wonderful student. And I can go back, and I can say, well, she gets 100 out of 100. And it automatically sends me to the next person that turned it in. Super. Okay, now what if I wanted to add a comment to something? I wanted to go, okay, finish, oh, we skipped 2 of those. Oh, we did not finish. So then I can go back and say, well, you know, I'm going to have to send them a response now. I'm going to have to say that's probably about an 80 out of 100 that they didn't finish. And I can go and go under the post and respond just to that student and say, you didn't finish this. Once you assign the grade, however, they cannot resubmit work. Go back to the groups and I'll show you flag book. I'll show you group numbers. I can show you post from there. But this is one that has a real, this student is also here today. Rare, but have some real characters. For me, it's a way to keep up with who is turning things in. Are they following along? Can you see the calendar from the app?
I think you have to go to the web.
Okay, yeah. If you go to the app, the calendar doesn't show. If you go to the web version, like you go to your browser on the iPad and type in edmodo.com, you'll be able to see that calendar as well. There's some things that are helpful for me. With so many different clubs, I think we are up to almost 40 different clubs and honor societies now. Wow, let's take pictures of your book. It's a good way to find out, because you will find, and I'm sure this is true for you too, the same kids are in every club. Same kids were in every honor society. You know, why didn't they come and get that piece of paper they were going to get? Well, because they had full meetings scheduled. That's where they were when they had that time. Has anybody ever used Google Maps to tell? Well, I know Megan was like, oh.
I just used it this week.
Did you?
We went on virtual tour to Madrid, and they loved it. And so at the end, like, I picked out a bunch of places at first, and we went and like took the little Google man, like looked around the streets, and then there were pictures so we could go like inside, like the. And so then I also went to several websites, and several of the museums have virtual tours. So we did like virtual tours, and I tried to include something that everybody might like. So like for all the soccer players, we went to the Real Madrid Stadium, and they had a virtual tour. And so now they're gonna create scrapbooks of a trip using Google Earth.
Exactly. And it's all about finding something that those kids enjoy and trying to snag hold of that to keep them interested in your class. You know, and I don't care what it takes for them to get there. If I can help them get there, we're going. but they're my kids. If they're in my classroom, they're my kids, and nobody messes with my kids. Is that true? Yes, that's true. Nobody messes with my kids. Okay. For me, it's just a way to entice them. When you go to Google Maps, you can actually go and do like a 360 spin and look around. You can go and look at the Coliseum. I'm probably never going to get to go there. Keep losing our income and shut down. Probably not ever going. Because the children, every time they turn around, they have their hands out. I need. But this is a way for me to see it and to show my students without spending $5,000. And to me, that's worth it. It's worth it that it's there.
You can do like literary trips too, so like English teachers, like there's a story where the character travels through a city, like a real existing city, or where an author wrote a book to talk about where they got their inspiration from and things like that. You can take them into certain cafes and restaurants.
Yeah, and if you have younger students, elementary students, you could even do like a virtual Flat Stanley type event. There are a lot of apps that are like puppet apps, Puppet Pals and How-Tos and things like that, where they have cartoons and they can make stories or they can go on adventures. And the younger students like that. This Trips is kind of like our version of that. Just little things that will make them more engaged. At this point, they're all electronic and they're always, how many of us that do this all day long? So do young children. When I go somewhere, I'm always amazed to see these 3-year-olds will take their mom's iPhone and they're scrolling through, they're playing the game, and I'm like, I don't even turn that on. I was studying dirt, I still be doing that.
I've used the Google Maps in geometry, where I used to have to draw maps and include the parallel lines, perpendicular lines, vertical angles, obtuse, acute. And so then we started using that with the iPad, and they had to, pinpoint where the vertical lines were and parallel, perpendicular.
Probably saves you some time, and then they're,
And they love doing it that way, a whole lot
Exactly.
more sheet of paper.
because it seems like you are physically abusing them if you ask them to write something down.
And they can do their own, they can choose right there near their house, and then they have to draw like a piece of art that looks like a triangle, and that sort of thing.
There's a lot of things you can do with just a little bit of thinking. And what would be entertaining to me? Like entertaining to them. Or sometimes I'll get suggestions. Sometimes kids, I have a student who is so shy, even after this is his 3rd year with me. He could be sitting in class, just as close as you and I, and if he has to go to the bathroom or has a question, he will send me an email. He will not. He's just that. So I'm having to always look. Yes, that's what we're doing. Yes, you're going to go. And that's the way we communicate, and that's great. If we're communicating, I'm good with that. Bless your heart. Bless your heart, baby. We're going to get you there. I just got to work with you a little bit more. But at least he's taking that step, and he has that avenue. What if we didn't have that opportunity? Is he going to sit there and not ask the question? I used to have, I had a student several years ago before we had technology, and as she left every day, she would slide down on this and walk it out. And it would be like, I didn't understand the lesson, can I come and see you? Yes, you could have asked while we were doing the lesson, but, it gives them a quicker way. So if he sends me and says, I don't understand this, I will try to say in a way that's not saying, he didn't understand, so let me tell you again. I'll just say, let me go over this again in case y'all are having trouble understanding this. Because if he's asking the question, somebody else has the question too. They just don't want to ask it. And I have a student this year, it's a first year student that does the same thing. Not as often. He usually does the same thing, but if he does communicate with me, it's an email. And he never makes, or makes eye contact. I guess I'm a little horrifying at first. I can be scary.
I use Google Maps for, I'm a coach, and a lot of high school athletes have an idea of where they want to attend college, but see, you see certain pictures on websites.
Exactly.
So when you use
What's it really look like?
Exactly.
What's beside it?
Well, it's what, on the website, it's what they want to see, but then when you actually start going to using Google Maps, it starts realizing streets that are, so if that's a particular university they're planning to attend, they have somewhat of, idea where they're going and so forth and so on before they.
Exactly, or we did that after the AP exam. I had 3 AP students, and so we pulled up everywhere they were going to college. One of them is in Irvine, California. One is at UNC Charlotte, and one is at Wingate, which is close to Charlotte. So we pulled up those Charlotte ones and we looked, and then we went to California and could stand on a hill, you know, on the campus of, what is the college men's at? Concordia. Concordia, Irvine. But there's literally like this hill in the middle of campus where you can stand on it and you can see Disneyland. And at nighttime, they can see the fireworks. And I'm like, I hate you. she FaceTimed me a few weeks ago and said, hey, look, and it was still daylight there because of the time difference. She goes, and she was very glad and short. So I was like, really? Really? This child was my daughter's best friend, and so when she left, I was like, I felt like my child had left me, but it's a good way to be able to see what they're seeing. And so they were able to share with each other, this is where I'm going, look at my campus, and this is where I'm going, look at mine. And also, you know, for coaches and athletes, where are we going to this game? Is the gym beside the school? Is the soccer field beside the school, or is it down the road from the school, or is there a different location than the middle school? For example, our middle school plays at the field that the high school has for soccer. So that's something that's helpful to know. Can I see? No, there's no soccer field there. I bet it's over here. Save some driving time. There are a lot of different things to do with that. I appreciate everybody's attention today, and I hope that you got